You finally got what you wanted: the promotion, the relationship, the creative milestone, or simply the stability you used to pray for. But as you stand in the middle of your achievement, a cold, quiet realization begins to sink in. It doesn't feel like yours. It feels like you're wearing someone else's clothes or living in a house you haven't earned the right to occupy. You are waiting for a tap on the shoulder, a voice that says, "There's been a mistake. You don't belong here." Why is it that the closer you get to your goals, the further you feel from yourself? This is the stranger in success phenomenon. It's more than just a passing doubt. It's a profound disconnect between your external reality and your internal map of who you are. Think about a moment recently where someone praised you. Perhaps it was a client thanking you for excellent work, or a friend admiring how far you've come. In that moment, did you feel a warm sense of pride, or did you feel a spike of anxiety, followed by an immediate urge to deflect? "I just got lucky," you might have said, or "It's not as impressive as it looks." This disconnect starts to bleed into your daily decisions. Because you feel like a stranger in your success, you stop taking the risks that got you there in the first place. You become defensively cautious. You stop innovating because you're terrified that one wrong move will reveal the real you, the one you believe is incompetent or unworthy. Your self-talk becomes a courtroom. Every mistake is entered as evidence of your fraudulence. Every success is dismissed as a clerical error by the universe. In relationships, this shows up as a distancing effect. If your partner or friends see you as successful, but you see yourself as a failure, you begin to resent them for their blindness. You might even pull away, thinking, if they really knew how much of a mess I am, they wouldn't look at me that way. You are living two lives, the one the world sees and the one you are trapped in, and the gap between them is becoming a canyon. Before we look at the mechanics of why this happens, you need to understand something vital. You are not broken. You are not actually a fraud. This feeling of being a stranger is not a warning that you failed. It is actually a byproduct of how your brain handles rapid growth. In psychology, we call this identity lag. Your external life has moved at a speed your internal self-image cannot yet match. Imagine a snake shedding its skin. There is a period where the old skin is gone, but the new skin is still soft, sensitive, and hasn't hardened yet. During that transition, the snake is vulnerable. You are in that soft skin phase. Your brain is designed for survival, not for fulfillment. Survival requires predictability. Even if your past was unsuccessful or difficult, it was predictable. Your brain knew how to navigate that version of you. Success, however, is a new territory with new rules. To your nervous system, new is often synonymous with dangerous. The feeling of being a stranger is simply your brain's way of trying to drag you back to the safety of the version of yourself it already understands. To understand the why, we have to look at two core psychological concepts: cognitive dissonance and self-schema theory. Your self-schema is the blueprint of who you believe you are. It's built from years of childhood feedback, past failures, and social mirrors. If your schema says, "I am an underdog who struggles," and your reality says, "I am a leader who succeeds," your brain experiences cognitive dissonance. This is a state of mental discomfort that occurs when you hold two conflicting beliefs. Think of your self-identity as an old, comfortable pair of shoes. They might be full of holes and leak when it rains, but you know exactly how they feel. Success is like being handed a pair of high-end, stiff Italian leather shoes. They are objectively better, but they give you blisters. They feel wrong. The stranger feeling is the friction between the old shoes of your past and the new shoes of your present. There is also a neurobiological component called the homeostatic impulse. Just as your body regulates its temperature to stay at 98.6 degrees, your psyche has a set point for how much success or happiness it thinks you deserve. When you exceed that set point, your brain's thermostat kicks in. It triggers feelings of anxiety, alienation, and fraudulence to make you uncomfortable enough to lower your temperature back to the old familiar level. It's a survival mechanism acting as a governor on your potential. So, how do you move from being a stranger in your life to being its rightful owner? We have to manually update your internal map. Step 1. Identity auditing. What to do? Write down the top 5 narratives you held about yourself 5 years ago. E.g., I'm the one who never finishes things, or I'm the person people overlook. Then, write down the objective evidence from the last 12 months that contradicts those narratives, why it works. This forces the prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, to confront the outdated data in your amygdala. Example: if you believe you are bad with people, but you successfully led a team project this month, your brain must hold both facts until the old one begins to dissolve. Step 2. The third-person perspective. What to do? When you feel like a fraud, describe your achievements as if they happened to a stranger. Instead of saying, I got the promotion, say, an employee with 5 years of experience and a 95% satisfaction rate was promoted. Why it works. This utilizes a psychological tool called decentering. By removing the I, you bypass the emotional baggage of your self-schema and see the logic of the achievement. Example: you wouldn't call a stranger a fraud if they had your resume. You'd say they were qualified. Step 3. Microdosing merit. What to do? Spend 2 minutes every night mentally claiming one small win from the day. Not just acknowledging it happened, but saying, I chose the actions that led to this. Why it works. This strengthens the neural pathways associated with internal locus of control. You are teaching your brain that success isn't something that happens to you by luck, but something you produce. Step 4. Normalize the blister period. What to do? When the feeling of being a stranger arises, label it. Say, this is the discomfort of growth, not the evidence of failure. Why it works. This is cognitive reframing. By giving the feeling a name that isn't threatening, you prevent the nervous system from going into a fight or flight response. Example: a runner knows their lungs burning isn't a sign of a heart attack. It's a sign of training. Your fraud feeling is the burning lungs of identity growth. Imagine you are an explorer who has lived your whole life in a small, dark valley. You've spent years climbing the mountain to reach the plateau above. Now that you're there, the air is thinner, the sun is brighter, and the view is terrifyingly vast. Of course, you feel like you don't belong. The Valley You is the only version you've ever known, but the Valley You is the one who did the climbing. The stranger you feel like is actually the future version of you, waiting for you to catch up. The mental model to remember is the map and territory model. Your map, your identity, is just a piece of paper. The territory, your actual life, is the real ground. When the map and the territory don't match, you don't throw away the territory. You redraw the map. You are currently in the process of redrawing yourself. It is a strange thing to be successful and sad at the same time. It is a lonely thing to be applauded by the world while you are whispering liar to yourself. But please, listen closely. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you are in the wrong place.
It is the sound of your old self-image stretching to accommodate the person you have become. You aren't a stranger in your own success. You are just a guest who hasn't realized they've been given the keys to the house. Stop waiting for permission to sit at the table you built. Take a breath. Look around at what you've created. It's okay if it doesn't feel real yet. The feeling will follow the facts eventually. Until then, just keep showing up as the person you are afraid you aren't, because that person is exactly who you've always been.